Ethan had 27 minutes before Tina returned. 27 minutes to transform. His hands trembled slightly as he tugged at the zipper of the black satin dress. It clung tight to his body, the cool fabric sending a chill across his skin. He adjusted the straps, adjusted his posture, adjusted his reality. In the mirror, Jessica stared back, smoky eyes, crimson lips, cheekbones he had learned to sculpt with precision, and hair falling in perfect waves, courtesy of a high-end wig that cost more than he'd ever admit to Tina. The chat room pinged with notifications. Doll Queen, Jessica, you look stunning tonight. Satin Slut 23, you're glowing. That new lipstick. Jessica Portland, thanks babes, red velvet from MAC. Feeling fierce tonight. Ethan. Jessica smiled. Her smile. Not his. He wasn't Ethan now. Ethan was boring. Ethan was code and deadlines and a carefully curated mask of normalcy. Jessica was color and danger and freedom. And tonight, Jessica was alive. He angled the ring light to capture just the right shimmer off his collarbone. Another selfie, another moment of escape, of validation. The room smelled faintly of perfume and warm electronics. Outside, the rain drummed on the window, a soothing background hum that drowned out the sound of his heart pounding like a war drum. He was mid-reply when the front door opened. The keys, the unmistakable jingle, the metallic sound that shattered everything. No. Panic hit him like cold water. He froze, fingers still poised over the keyboard. Time-dilated seconds became hours as he stared at the door, at the hallway, at the mirror. Reality surged back. He reached for the zipper, fumbled, his heart jackhammered. Ethan. Tina's voice echoed from the hallway, casual, cheerful, oblivious. He was halfway out of the chair when she walked in. Silence. Her eyes locked on him, taking in the scene. The makeup scattered across the desk, the laptop screen still glowing with chat messages, the dress, the wig, the heels, the complete inescapable picture. Jessica, exposed. No words, just the sound of the rain, and breathing. Hers, sharp and shallow. His, erratic, desperate. Tina, he croaked, voice caught between registers, neither masculine nor feminine. Just raw, vulnerable. She didn't speak. Her gaze was ice, scanning him, scanning the room, like a detective walking into a crime scene. Her hands clenched at her sides, a tick in her jaw. Her lips parted, but no words came. Her silence was louder than any scream. I can explain, he whispered. She didn't blink, didn't move. Were you cheating? The words landed like a slap, sharp and accusing, edged with disbelief. What? No, God no, it's not like that. Then what is this? She stepped closer, eyes narrowing. What the hell is going on, Ethan? He flinched at the name. Ethan. It felt wrong, like an ill-fitting mask. He felt naked, skinned alive under her gaze. Shame bloomed like a virus, infecting every cell, every thought. I'm not cheating, he repeated, pleading. I swear to you. He looked at the mirror. Jessica looked back, beautiful, pitiful. I am Jessica, he whispered, the words falling out before he could stop them. I've always been. I didn't mean for you to find out like this. I didn't mean to lie. I just didn't know how to tell you. Silence again. Jessica's reflection stared, caught between terror and relief. No going back, no one saying it. Tina's expression fractured the shock, the confusion, the betrayal. A storm behind her eyes. Finally, she spoke. Start talking, she said. Her voice wasn't angry, it was cold, controlled, dangerous. Jessica nodded, her throat tight, heart raw. She was no longer hiding. But the closet door was open, and she didn't know if she'd just stepped into the light or into the fire. Ethan. Jessica couldn't breathe. The air in the room had shifted, heavy like wet concrete, pressing on her chest. She pulled the chair out to sit, knees too weak to hold her weight. The dress was too tight, suddenly suffocating. Every inch of her skin screamed with awareness of being seen, judged, known. Tina stood like a statue, arms folded, her wedding ring catching the light. That ring felt like a shackle now. Or a noose. I don't know where to start, Jessica muttered. Start with when? Tina's tone could have sliced glass. How long have you been doing this? Jessica's fingers tangled in her lap, the red nails clicking nervously against each other. A while. How long? She swallowed. Since before we met. Tina's eyes widened, like she'd been slapped. So I've never known you. Not really. It's still me, Jessica pleaded, reaching out instinctively. Tina stepped back like the touch burned. Don't. Silence ballooned again. Jessica felt like she was on trial. And in a way she was. I thought it was just a phase, Jessica continued, voice trembling. In college, I tried to quit. I buried it. I locked it up. I got married. I thought if I just stopped, it would go away. But it didn't. Tina's voice had a dangerous calm, like a storm gathering at sea. Jessica shook her head. It's not about sex. It's not about cheating. It's me, Jessica is me. You lied to me. Tina's voice cracked, just barely. Every day. You built a life with me. And this, she gestured wildly, her eyes wet now. This is the real you? And I've been married to a ghost. I was scared. Of me? Of losing you. Jessica's voice broke, a raw wound in her throat. Tina looked away, jaw clenching. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but she didn't wipe them. She let them fall, like they belonged. You already lost me the moment you chose this over telling the truth. Jessica winced. I didn't choose anything. I didn't know how. You chose to hide, to lie, to dress up and play pretend, while I thought I knew the man I married. She let out a bitter laugh. Jesus, Ethan. Jessica flinched again at the name. Tina noticed. Her eyes narrowed. You really hate that name now, don't you? Jessica didn't answer. Couldn't. The name felt foreign, like a life she'd barely remembered. So what? You want to become her full-time now? Live as Jessica? Go outside like this? Tina's voice sharpened, slicing deeper. Quit your job? Grow boobs? What's the endgame here? Jessica didn't know. Or maybe she did, but couldn't admit it. I just want to be seen, she whispered. You were seen, by me, every day, and you threw that away. The rain intensified outside, a dull roar against the windows. Time didn't exist anymore, just this moment, stretched thin like glass about to crack. Tina walked to the dresser, eyes scanning the makeup, the perfume, the array of carefully organized cosmetics. A separate world, a secret shrine. She picked up a lipstick too, the same crimson Jessica wore, turned it in her fingers, then set it down with precision. Then she turned back. All right, she said. Jessica blinked. What? Tina's face was unreadable now, like a mask carved from stone. If Jessica is who you are, then prove it. A cold knife of fear sliced through Jessica's gut. What do you mean? You want to be her? Tina's voice was soft, almost gentle, now too gentle, like the moment before the blade drops. Then live it, not just in secret, not just behind closed doors. Live it fully. Jessica's mouth went dry. I. 1 week, Tina said. You live as Jessica, all day, every day. You dress like her, act like her. No hiding, no halfway. Just Jessica. Jessica stared, mind reeling. And if I do, she asked, voice a ghost. Tina's lips curled into a smile, but it wasn't warm. It was something else entirely. Then we'll see if our marriage can survive the truth. The air felt like ice. Jessica nodded, slowly. She didn't have a choice. Not really. Tina turned to leave the room, pausing in the doorway. Starting tomorrow, I'll set everything up. Clothes, makeup. You'll need help looking your best. Jessica sat frozen, the implications crashing over her in waves. Oh, and Jessica. Tina looked over her shoulder, her gaze razor-sharp. No backing out. You wanted this. Let's see if you can handle it. The door clicked shut. Jessica stared at the mirror, at herself, and for the first time, she wasn't sure if she was looking at freedom or a cage. The sun rose, not with warmth or promise, but with the weight of judgment. It spilled through the blinds like an interrogation lamp, spotlighting every corner of the room that once belonged to Ethan, now stripped of its illusions. Jessica stood in front of the mirror, naked in every way that mattered, a bathrobe clinging loosely to her body. Her skin felt raw, like it had been peeled back overnight, exposing every nerve, every doubt. She hadn't slept. How could she? Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Tina's face, unreadable, cold, decisive. 1 week. Tina's words echoed like a bell tolling in a cathedral of dread. 1 week as Jessica, fully, entirely. No escape. No return to the safety of being Ethan, the dutiful husband, the predictable man. There was a knock at the bedroom door. 3 short raps, deliberate. Jessica flinched. Yeah. Tina's voice came through clear. Calm. Too calm. Time to get ready. I left everything for you in the bathroom. Jessica's pulse kicked into high gear. This was happening. Now. She opened the door and crossed the hallway barefoot, the robe dragging behind her like a funeral train. In the bathroom, everything had changed. Her toothbrush gone, replaced by a pink one. Her shaving kit gone. In its place, razors meant for women, a variety of scented lotions, and makeup spread meticulously across the counter like instruments in a surgical suite. Then the clothes. On the towel rack hung a dress, floral, pastel, delicate, something she'd never have picked for herself. Beneath it, a set of lingerie, lace, white, the kind that wasn't meant to be worn under anything practical, and heels, low but unmistakably feminine. Jessica swallowed the lump in her throat. No backing out. 2 hours later, she descended the stairs, unsteady in her steps, her body a battlefield between fear and forced poise. The dress clung tighter than expected, her movements restricted, guided by its softness, its fragility. Her makeup was imperfect, but Tina had been there, correcting, guiding not with kindness, but with precision, like a coach preparing a fighter for the ring. Tina stood in the kitchen, scrolling on her phone, coffee mug in hand. She didn't look up immediately. Jessica stopped at the foot of the stairs. I'm ready. Tina's eyes lifted. She scanned Jessica from head to toe slowly, deliberately. You did well, she said, voice neutral. You look presentable. Jessica tried to smile, but it faltered. Now, Tina continued, setting down her mug. Today we're going shopping. Jessica's eyes widened. Shopping. Tina tilted her head. You didn't think you'd just sit at home, did you? No, if you're living as Jessica, you need clothes, real clothes. And you need to learn how to move, speak, act. This is immersion. Jessica hesitated. But people will see you, Tina finished, stepping closer. That's the point. No more hiding. Jessica nodded, heart pounding like a trapped animal. Tina's hand brushed her cheek, her fingers cold. You said you wanted to be seen, so let's start showing you off. The mall was a cathedral of polished tile and artificial light. Every step Jessica took echoed in her ears, louder than the chatter, louder than the music spilling from storefronts. She clutched her purse like a lifeline, knuckles white. Every glance felt like scrutiny, every whisper a judgment. Tina walked ahead, confident, at ease. She didn't hold Jessica's hand. She didn't offer comfort. She led. In the boutique, it was worse. Tina pulled dresses from racks with ruthless efficiency, holding them up, appraising them, tossing them over her arm. Try these. Jessica obeyed, disappearing into the changing room with trembling hands. Each outfit felt like a layer peeled away. The pencil skirt, the blouse, the tight jeans that hugged in ways Ethan had never experienced. She emerged each time to Tina's gaze, critical, calculating. Posture, Tina corrected. Smile. You're not a man in a dress. You're Jessica. Own it. Jessica tried. She posed. She preened. She lied to herself in the mirror. And somewhere, in the haze of fabric and foundation, something cracked. The fear didn't leave, but it shifted, twisted into something darker. Thrilling. The final outfit was a soft pink dress, flaring at the waist, cinched with a white belt. Jessica stepped out, heels clicking, and Tina's eyes lingered. "That's the one," she said. "We're wearing it to lunch." Lunch. Jessica barely had time to object before they were seated in a cafe, surrounded by chatter and clinking cutlery. The waitress addressed them both as ladies, and Jessica froze, cheeks burning, breath stolen. Tina smiled. "Jessica, could you get us some napkins?" Jessica stood, legs wobbling, and crossed the room. Her reflection caught in the cafe's glass walls. A stranger, a woman, Jessica. She returned to the table, and as she placed the napkins down, Tina spoke, clear and deliberate. "Thank you, Jessica." Jessica's breath hitched. The couple at a nearby table glanced over. Jessica sat slowly, heart slamming against her ribs. Humiliation flooded her veins, hot, sharp, but beneath it, a flicker of something else. A thrill, a wrongness that felt too right. Tina leaned forward, her voice low. "Good girl." Jessica's world tilted. The week had begun and there was no going back. The next morning, Jessica woke up to the sound of her phone buzzing. Not Ethan's phone, his had been replaced, along with his email, his calendar, even his playlists. Now it was Jessica's phone, set to a soft chime, displaying a reminder Tina had scheduled for her. 8:00 a.m. Get dressed. Be ready. We're going shopping again. Jessica groaned, the sound muffled by the satin pillowcase. She sat up slowly, disoriented. Her nightgown clung to her skin, her legs freshly shaven, still tingling from yesterday's ritual. She could still smell the perfume. Tina insisted she wear something floral, light, almost innocent. Innocent, right. Her feet hit the floor, and the cold hardwood jolted her. She moved automatically now, like she was operating under someone else's programming. She opened the closet, and the sight punched her in the gut. Her clothes were gone. No jeans, no t-shirts, no hoodies, all replaced. Dresses, skirts, blouses, cardigans, lingerie in delicate silks and lace, arranged meticulously in drawers. Shoes in boxes labeled by heel height. Wigs, accessories, perfumes, all lined up like soldiers. How life had been overwritten. And Tina, she wasn't home. Jessica dressed, applying her makeup with shaky precision, recalling every correction Tina had given her yesterday. Blush but light. Lipstick over the liner, not before. Eyeliner just a flick, not a cat eye. "You're not a drag queen, you're a woman," Tina had said with a smirk. By the time the door opened, Jessica was ready. Tina stepped inside, holding a coffee carrier in one hand and shopping bags in the other. "You're dressed," she said, eyebrow raised. "Not bad, you're learning." Jessica didn't respond. She took the coffee Tina offered, sipping quietly. "You're quiet," Tina said, still adjusting. Jessica nodded. Tina smiled. "Good, you should be." She dropped the shopping bags on the couch and began pulling out new clothes, bras, panties, more skirts, and a corset. Jessica's eyes widened. "Try it on," Tina said casually. Jessica hesitated. Tina's eyes narrowed. "A week, remember? Or are you backing out?" Jessica shook her head and took the corset with trembling hands, retreating to the bedroom. She wrestled with the laces, her breathing labored. By the time she walked back out, spine straightened unnaturally, Tina looked her up and down. "That's better," she said. "Posture. Confidence. You'll learn." They spent the rest of the day out, errands, shopping, more public appearances. Jessica's nerves were frayed raw by the time they returned home. Her feet ached from the heels, her mind dizzy from the constant performance. She didn't know who she was anymore. She wasn't Ethan. She couldn't be. And Tina. Tina was watching. Always watching. At dinner, Tina poured wine, swirling it lazily in the glass. "You're doing well," she said, "but we're not done. Tomorrow, I want you to cook dinner in something special." Jessica blinked. "Special?" Tina grinned. "I bought you an apron. Just an apron." Jessica's breath caught. "And heels," Tina added. "Of course." Jessica nodded, her voice failing. Tina stood and approached her, brushing a hand along her cheek. "You wanted this," she whispered. "Now you're getting it." Jessica shuddered under her touch. The next day was a blur. Cooking, cleaning, wearing the apron, just the apron, while Tina sat on the couch, watching, sipping her wine, commenting on Jessica's form, her grace, her submission. Jessica wanted to scream, to break, to run, but she didn't, she couldn't. By nightfall, Jessica was exhausted, broken, floating, and then the doorbell rang. Tina rose, smiling. "Oh, right," she said. "We're having a guest tonight." Jessica's blood ran cold. Tina opened the door, and a tall man stepped inside, confident, relaxed, handsome in a way that screamed dominance. "Jessica," Tina said sweetly, "this is Liam. He's heard so much about you." Liam smiled. Jessica wanted the floor to swallow her. Tina leaned in, her voice a dagger. "Now be a good girl and pour us some wine." Jessica obeyed, hands shaking. Liam chuckled softly. "She's adorable," he said. Tina smirked. "Isn't she?" Jessica stood between them, clutching the bottle of wine, her world spinning. This was no longer about discovery. It was about control. And Jessica was losing. The wine sloshed dangerously as Jessica poured it into Liam's glass. Her fingers trembled, the heavy bottle tilting awkwardly. Drops spattered the tablecloth, tiny crimson stains, blooming like wounds. She gasped, tried to wipe them, but Tina's voice cut through the air, sharp and cold. "Leave it." Jessica froze, mid-motion, the napkin poised like a flag of surrender in her hand. Tina's smile didn't reach her eyes. "Accidents happen," she said lightly, then turned to Liam. "She's still learning. But I think she's doing quite well, don't you?" Liam sipped his wine, eyes never leaving Jessica. They were amused, curious, like he was watching an animal at the zoo try to mimic human behavior. He leaned back in his chair, relaxed, dominant. "I've seen worse," he said, lips curving into a slow, knowing grin. "She cleans up nice." Jessica wanted to disappear. The dress Tina had chosen, a tight, body-hugging number in navy blue, felt like a second skin. The heels pinched, the corset underneath crushing her ribs. She wasn't just in costume, she was wrapped, molded, crafted into Jessica. And now she was on display. "Sit," Tina said, patting the space beside her. Jessica obeyed, perching on the edge of the couch like a doll in a display case. Her knees pressed tightly together, her hands folded in her lap. Every instinct screamed at her to run. But under it all, buried beneath the fear, the shame, the confusion, was heat. Unmistakable, shameful, real. She hated it. She needed it. "So," Liam said, taking another sip, "tell me, Jessica, what does your husband think about all this?" Jessica's breath caught. Tina laughed, the sound sharp. "Oh, he's not around anymore," she said. "Jessica lives here now." Jessica stared down at her lap, cheeks burning. The humiliation washed over her in waves, hot and cold, prickling her skin. Liam nodded slowly, his gaze heavy. "Good, because he'd hate this." Silence. Then Tina stood, taking her wine glass with her. She walked to the stereo, turned on soft music, something slow, sultry, deliberate. She turned back to Jessica. "Dance for us." Jessica's heart stopped. "What?" Tina's eyes glittered. "You heard me." I can't." Tina stepped closer, voice low, deadly. "You will." Jessica rose unsteadily. Her body didn't feel like her own anymore. She moved to the center of the room, the music wrapping around her like a chain. She began to sway, awkward, uncertain, her body betraying her with every step. Liam watched, sipping his wine, silent, patient. Tina watched too, arms crossed, eyes sharp. Jessica turned, twisted, moved as best she could. Every movement was a performance, every step a surrender. And as the song ended, she stood still, breathing hard, her face flushed. Silence. Then Tina clapped slow, mocking. "Not bad," she said, "for your first time." Jessica sank back into the couch, her legs weak. Tina leaned down, whispering in her ear, "Tomorrow you'll do better." The rest of the evening passed in a blur. Laughter, conversation, wine. Tina and Liam talked like old friends, ignoring Jessica except to occasionally give her orders, bring more wine, Fetch snacks, adjust the music. She obeyed, each task eroding something inside her. By the end of the night, Jessica stood in the kitchen, washing dishes, the sound of their voices low, intimate filtering through the doorway. And then laughter, a moan, a muffled gasp. Her blood ran cold. She crept to the hallway, her feet silent on the floor. The bedroom door was slightly ajar, light spilling into the dark corridor. Shadows moved inside. Tina's silhouette straddling Liam, her head thrown back, laughing. Jessica stared, frozen. A soft sound escaped her lips, half sob, half whimper. The door creaked. Tina's eyes snapped to the doorway. Her smile widened, predatory, cruel. "Jessica," she said, her voice velvet-wrapped steel. "Come in." Jessica didn't move. Tina's eyes glittered. "Now." Jessica stepped forward, trembling. Liam turned his head, eyes heavy-lidded, amused. Jessica stood at the foot of the bed, her knees threatening to buckle. Tina reached out, brushing her fingers along Jessica's cheek. "Good girl," she whispered. "You're part of this now." Jessica's world shattered not with violence, but with inevitability. And as Tina pulled her onto the bed, as Liam's hands gripped her hips, as her identity cracked like glass beneath the weight of their control, Jessica realized something terrifying. She didn't know where Ethan ended and Jessica began. And she wasn't sure she wanted to. Time didn't exist in that room. Just heat, breath, the sound of fabric rustling, the slow, obscene rhythm of power-shifting hands not taken, but given. Jessica lay between them, pliant, trembling, her world spinning so violently that her thoughts scattered like ash. Tina's hand gripped her wrist, guiding her, positioning her with the clinical precision of someone utterly in control. Liam's voice was low, amused, no mockery, just confidence, knowing he didn't need to prove a thing. The weight of their gaze pinned Jessica in place more than hands or words ever could. She wasn't Ethan. Not anymore. Ethan had been erased, stripped away with every layer of clothing, every order, every humiliation that Tina carved into her with a smile and a whisper. Jessica had thought this would be a game, a test, a way to save what they had. But Tina wasn't interested in salvation. She wanted transformation. Jessica cried out not from pain, not entirely from pleasure, but from something deeper, something darker. The part of her that still screamed no was muffled now, drowned beneath waves of yes, beneath the raw thrill of surrender. She should have hated, it should have fought. But every time Tina leaned in, whispered, "Good girl," Jessica's spine lit up like a live wire. When it ended, she lay still, drenched in sweat, heart racing like a trapped bird. Tina sat up, reaching for her robe, utterly composed. She stood at the foot of the bed, looking down at Jessica with a gaze that wasn't soft or cruel. It was something beyond those things. It was ownership. Liam stood, adjusting his shirt, eyes meeting Jessica's with a small, satisfied smile. "You're a natural," he said simply, and walked out without another word. Jessica sat up slowly, sheets clutched to her chest, her body still shaking. Her face burned not with embarrassment, not exactly, with realization. Tina sat beside her, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Look at you," she said. "You're exactly who you're meant to be." Jessica's lip quivered. "What about Ethan?" Tina tilted her head, as if considering the name. "Ethan," she repeated. "Ethan was a liar. A coward. He's gone." Jessica's eyes filled with tears, but they didn't fall. She didn't have the strength. "You made me," she whispered. Tina's smile widened. "No, you chose this. I just helped you see it." Jessica looked down at her hands, her nails chipped, makeup smudged, mascara streaking her cheeks. She looked broken, but she felt something else. Free? No, not free. Reprogrammed. The days blurred after that. Jessica didn't leave the house, not as Ethan, not as anyone but the girl Tina sculpted day by day. Her old clothes were gone. Her laptop, password changed. Her bank accounts merged. Tina handled everything now. Groceries, bills, decisions. Jessica cooked, cleaned, woke up early to apply makeup, slipping into whatever outfit Tina laid out the night before. She wore heels in the house. She vacuumed in skirts. She greeted Tina with a kiss on the cheek, a smile on her painted lips, and eyes that begged for approval. Liam visited often. Jessica knew the routine: wine, flirting, laughter. Her role was always the same: pour the drinks, serve the food, fetch the things they needed. Her reward? A pat on the head, a soft good girl. And on some nights the bedroom door left open, the sound of Tina's moans echoing down the hall, Jessica lying awake, hand between her thighs, shame and desire tearing her apart. But the worst night, the one that cracked what was left of Ethan, was when Tina took her shopping again. Not to a mall, to a salon. Jessica sat in the chair, a cape around her shoulders, her heart pounding as the stylist ran fingers through her hair. "What are we doing today?" the stylist asked. Tina answered, "She's ready for something permanent." Jessica stared at her in the mirror, eyes wide. "Tina, please." Tina leaned in, lips brushing her ear. "Be brave, Jessica." An hour later, Ethan's hair was gone. Jessica's hair was styled in soft, feminine curls, dyed, cut, shaped. There was no going back. She looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the girls staring back. And yet, she couldn't look away. Back home, Tina handed her a small box. Inside, jewelry, a necklace with the name Jessica engraved in silver. "Put it on," Tina said. Jessica obeyed. Tina smiled, satisfaction in her eyes. "You're ready," she said. "We're moving next week. New house. Liam's coming with us." Jessica's throat went dry. "What about me?" Tina touched her cheek. "You'll live with us, as our maid, our companion, our Jessica." Jessica felt the last piece of Ethan crumble. She nodded. She didn't know how to say no anymore. And maybe she didn't want to. Jessica stood at the edge of the new house's grand foyer, the cold marble beneath her heels, a stark contrast to the warmth of the early afternoon sun spilling in through the high windows. The house wasn't just bigger, it was cleaner, colder, sharper. Like every line, every surface had been designed to reflect Tina's control. She clutched the hem of her maid uniform, black satin with white lace trim, short enough to humiliate, tight enough to control. The corset beneath it bit into her ribs, every breath a reminder she was no longer her own. Tina's voice rang out from upstairs. "Jessica, guests tonight. I want this place spotless." Jessica flinched. "Yes, ma'am," she called, her voice light, cheerful, like it was someone else speaking. It had only been 2 weeks since they moved. 2 weeks since Tina sold their old house, closed their joint accounts, and handed Jessica a single card with a new name on it: Jessica Lynn Carter. The ID was fake, or maybe it wasn't. Jessica didn't ask. She didn't want to know. Her world had become painfully simple: wake, dress, serve, clean, obey. Tina handled everything else. Liam now lived in the master bedroom, their bedroom, once upon a time. Jessica's room was downstairs, near the laundry, with a small bed, a vanity, and a wardrobe filled with uniforms and lingerie. No locks, no privacy. Jessica scrubbed, dusted, vacuumed, moving through the house like a phantom. She'd long since learned not to think. Thinking led to remembering. Remembering led to pain. And yet, sometimes she caught glimpses. In mirrors, in windows, in the silence between tasks. A flicker of Ethan's face beneath the makeup. A voice in her head: "What the hell have you become?" But the answer always came from Tina. "You've become what you were always meant to be." Evening fell. The doorbell rang. Jessica rushed to answer it, smoothing her apron, checking her lipstick in the mirror by the door. Tina stood behind her, tall, regal in a silk dress, a glass of wine in hand. Jessica opened the door to 2 guests, a couple, smiling, curious. Tina welcomed them in, exchanging pleasantries. "This is Jessica," she said, gesturing with her glass. "She takes care of things for us." Jessica curtsied, her first instinct now, and offered to take coats, serve drinks. The woman gave her a strange look. The man chuckled. As the evening unfolded, Jessica hovered at the edges, refilling glasses, clearing plates, fetching napkins, each task another thread in the web binding her to this life. And yet beneath the shame, beneath the loss, something else had begun to grow. Pride. Not in who she was, but in how well she performed. How flawlessly she filled the role Tina had carved for her. Every compliment, every order, every good girl from Tina's lips sent a shiver down her spine, equal parts fear and twisted pleasure. As the guests left, Tina turned to Jessica. "Come," she said. "Liam's waiting." Jessica followed without question, her heels silent on the stairs. In the bedroom, Liam lounged on the bed, shirtless, relaxed. He looked up, smirking. "She's trained well." Jessica stood in the doorway, heart pounding. Tina approached, lifted Jessica's chin with a finger. "Show him what you've learned." Jessica's knees hit the floor before she realized she'd moved. Her mind fractured. Her body obeyed. Later, as she lay curled at the foot of their bed, no longer her bed, Tina knelt beside her, brushing hair from her face. "You're perfect," she whispered. "Ethan is gone. Jessica is real now." Jessica didn't answer. She couldn't. The next morning, she stood in front of the mirror, lacing her corset, smoothing her skirt. She applied her makeup slowly, precisely every stroke learned from Tina's. She smiled. Tears ran down her cheeks. "I'm Jessica," she whispered. Maybe this was what she always wanted, or maybe it was all she had left. The mascara brush trembled between Jessica's fingers. She leaned closer to the mirror, breathing slow and shallow, the scent of lilac perfume heavy in the air. Her reflection stared back, perfect, poised, utterly artificial. Thick lashes, soft pink lips, blush dusted delicately across high cheekbones, every feature carved by discipline and repetition. It was the 6th time she'd applied her makeup this morning. Not because Tina demanded it, because she had to be perfect. The maid uniform clung tightly, black and white, iron sharp, corset laced to the point of pain. Her legs shimmered in stockings, the garter biting just above her thighs. The white lace apron was spotless, not a wrinkle in sight. Her nails, freshly painted, gleamed under the light. This was routine now, not performance, not punishment. It was life. Down the hall, she could hear movement. Tina's heels against hardwood, Liam's low laughter. Jessica's body tightened, breath catching in her throat. She glanced at the clock. 4:58 p.m. 2 minutes until they arrived. Her hands moved automatically, adjusting the bow at the back of her apron, checking the tightness of her choker, smoothing her skirt. Everything had to be in place. Everything had to be right. Because when Tina walked through that door, there was no space for failure. Jessica stared at herself. Not Ethan. Not anymore. She tried to remember Ethan's face, the voice, the way he used to stand, shoulders slouched, eyes half dead from staring at screens. But the memory was blurred now, like an old photograph left in the rain. Jessica's voice was higher, softer, her movements fluid, trained, her thoughts no longer her own. She didn't fight it. Didn't want to. This was safer, easier, cleaner. Tina made the decisions. Liam provided the strength. Jessica. She served. The sound of keys in the lock made her spine go rigid. Showtime. She glided, not walked to the door, heels clicking precisely as trained. She opened it just as Tina stepped in, the setting sun casting a golden halo around her. Liam followed, jacket over one shoulder, his hand lazily resting on Tina's waist. Jessica courtside, eyes lowered. "Welcome home, mistress." "Sir." Tina smiled that smile, the one Jessica lived for. Sharp, assessing, proud. "You're ready," Tina said, setting her purse down. "Good girl." Heat rushed through Jessica's body at the words. Praise, reward, purpose. Liam stepped forward, brushing a finger along Jessica's jawline. "You've been behaving?" he asked. Jessica nodded, cheeks flushing. "Yes, sir." "Let's see the dinner," Tina said, walking past her without a second glance. Jessica turned on her heel, leading them to the dining room where the table had been set meticulously, candles lit, silver polished to perfection, wine decanted. Tina inspected everything with the eye of a queen surveying her kingdom. She nodded once. Acceptable. Jessica's heart soared. She hadn't failed. Dinner passed in a blur of conversation between Tina and Liam. Work, plans, laughter, while Jessica served in silence, replenishing glasses, clearing plates, standing in wait. She wasn't a guest here. She wasn't family. She was property. And she had never felt more real. After dinner, Tina stood, smoothing her dress. Jessica. Yes, mistress. Prepare the bedroom. We have plans for tonight. Jessica's throat tightened. Yes, mistress. Upstairs, she lit candles, arranged the sheets, laid out Tina's preferred lingerie, and knelt by the bed, waiting. Her knees ached, but she didn't move. Her arms rested delicately in her lap, fingers entwined, eyes fixed on the floor. When Tina and Liam entered, Jessica didn't rise. She didn't speak. She simply existed. Tina approached, lifting Jessica's chin with 2 fingers. "You're smiling," she murmured. Jessica hadn't noticed, but she was. Tina leaned down, her breath warm. "You've accepted it, haven't you?" Jessica nodded, tears stinging her eyes. "I don't miss him," she whispered. "I don't miss Ethan." Tina's voice was soft, almost tender. "Because Ethan was weak. A mask. Jessica is real." Jessica's lips trembled, but she nodded again. Tina kissed her forehead, fingers stroking her hair. "Good girl." Liam's voice was a growl. "Let's see how real." They stripped her with slow, practiced movements, every lace, every button, every shred of autonomy peeled away until she stood bare, exposed and unashamed. The mirror across the room reflected her body, no longer Ethan's. No longer hers, just Jessica's. They took her there, not cruelly, not kindly, completely. Jessica surrendered, not with fear, with acceptance. Her body was theirs, her purpose was clear. Her mind, it didn't matter. Later, lying between them, her body aching, her mind blank, Tina whispered in her ear, "You're home now, forever." Jessica's tears slid silently onto the pillow, her lips parted in a broken, blissful smile. This was everything she ever wanted, or everything she had left. The room was silent, save for the tick of the ornate grandfather clock in the hall. Jessica sat in front of the vanity, a fine brush in her hand, tracing mascara over her lashes with mechanical precision. The maid uniform clung to her like skin tight, suffocating, comforting. Her reflection gazed back with wide, glassy eyes, unblinking, unmoving, perfect asterisk. Her thoughts were distant, not scattered filed organized. She'd cleaned the house twice today, though it was already spotless. She'd cooked, served, obeyed. Tina hadn't spoken much. Liam had been gone for hours. Something was coming. Jessica felt it. In the way Tina's eyes lingered cold. In the way the air had thickened like a storm pressing against the walls. Her phone buzzed once. Message from unknown greater than times almost up. Ready? Jessica froze. The brush fell from her fingers, clattering against the vanity. The message was gone. Her pulse spiked, but her face didn't move. Years of training, Ethan's training kicked in. Stay calm. Assess. Process. Times almost up . The words echoed, unlocking something behind her eyes. A flicker. A spark. Memory. Something buried. Something wrong . Her knees wobbled as she stood, the corset cutting deeper into her ribs, but she didn't loosen it. She walked slowly, deliberately through the hall, past the photos on the walls. Tina and Liam smiling. Tina in a silk dress, hand on Jessica's shoulder like she owned her. Jessica stared at the photos. She wasn't in them. Not really. Just a doll, a servant, a role. She moved to the study, Tina's private room door locked, as always. But Jessica didn't hesitate. She reached beneath the potted plant by the door, fingertips brushing cold metal. A key. Tina had no idea Jessica had found it. She slid it into the lock, twisted. The door creaked open. The room was dark, filled with the scent of paper, dust, and secrets. Jessica stepped inside, closing the door softly behind her. The desk was pristine. A laptop sat closed, a thin layer of dust on the lid. Jessica wiped it off, opened it. Password screen. Her fingers moved without thought. Ethan 1989 Access granted. The desktop was clean. Too clean. One folder. Jessica project final phase Her stomach dropped. She opened it. Files, videos, notes, audio logs. She clicked one at random. Tina's voice poured through the speakers. Greater than day 89. Full compliance achieved. Jessica no longer exhibits resistance behaviors. Emotional triggers now reinforce submissive state. Ethan's identity has been effectively erased through environmental control, sensory deprivation, and psychological reprogramming. Jessica's knees buckled. She grabbed the desk for support. Another file. Greater than phase 4. Sexual conditioning successful. She now responds to humiliation and praise as pleasure stimuli. Introduction of Liam accelerated dependency on external validation. Her breath caught. Liam wasn't just a player. He was part of it. Another file, a video. Jessica clicked. She watched herself sitting in the same room months ago, dressed plainly, her eyes defiant, angry. Ethan. Tina sat across from her, calm, poised. Greater than you can walk away, Tina. Right now. But if you stay, I promise you'll finally know who you are. Jessica. Ethan didn't respond. The screen faded. Jessica stumbled back from the desk. None of it had been real. It wasn't love. It was an experiment. She was built. Her phone buzzed again. Unknown number greater than you're remembering. Good. Now finish it. She blinked. Finish what? Behind her, the door creaked. Jessica turned. Tina stood in the doorway watching. Her smile was calm. Deadly. You weren't supposed to find that, she said softly. Jessica's lips parted, words lost. Tina stepped forward, closing the door behind her. I knew the trigger would come. I just didn't think it'd be today. Jessica stared. What did you do to me? Tina tilted her head. I gave you what you wanted. What Ethan begged for? You broke me. Tina sighed. No, I freed you. Ethan was miserable. Jessica is perfect. Jessica's hands clenched. I remember everything now, she whispered. Tina nodded. Good. Then you know what happens next. Jessica didn't understand. Tina stepped closer. This is the final test. Jessica's phone buzzed a third time. Unknown number greater than eliminate the subject. End the program. Return. Jessica's mind split. She remembered. All of it. She hadn't been broken. She had been sent undercover. By herself Ethan, the full becoming Jessica, had agreed to it. A controlled operation. A descent into submission to gather data, expose Tina, uncover what she was really doing. But it had gone too far. Too real. Tina smiled wider. You won't do it, she whispered. Jessica stepped back, heart racing. The dresser drawer. The gun. She lunged. Tina moved fast. They collided, crashing to the floor. The drawer burst open. The gun in Jessica's hands. Tina laughed. Do it, she whispered. Jessica trembled, tears streaming. Her finger hovered over the trigger. You're not Ethan anymore. You're mine. Jessica's eyes burned. I'm not yours, she said. I'm me. The gunshot echoed. Silence. Jessica stood alone, breath ragged, staring at Tina's body. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number greater than mission complete. Welcome back, Agent Carter. Jessica stared. Agent Carter. Not Ethan. Not Jessica. Something new asterisk. She looked in the mirror. Smiled. I'm not going back, she said softly. And she walked away, leaving everything behind.